Are you preparing to put your home on the market to sell? If so, you only get one chance to make that first impression. So you want to make sure that that first impression is the best that you can make it. What are those things you need to do to prepare your house to sell at a high price and to sell quickly? I'll share some tips with you in this video. My name is Stephen Kotobash of K-Bash Realty, and I get to help people buy and sell houses every day. So check it out. You're listing your house, right? Or getting ready to list your house for sale. You want to make sure you put your home's best foot forward, right? You want to make that great first impression. And while I know when you're getting ready to sell your home, you don't want to sink a ton of money into the house, right? Especially in those areas where you're not going to get the money back. So what do you need to do and where should you spend your money so you get the most bang for your buck? I know as a seller, you want to make sure your home has curb appeal, right? A lot of you have heard of curb appeal. Well, curb appeal gets the buyers into your house, but once they're in there, you want to make sure that they love it, right? You want to make sure that they love it and they're going to pay what you need to make on the sale of that house. So you want to make sure you do those things that help your house not only stand out from the outside, but then once they get in, you want to make sure that they fall in love with the home and give you a great offer. One big thing you want to do is improve your landscape. Going back to curb appeal, right? Make sure that you put down fresh pine straw. Some people like mulch, right? Put down some fresh mulch, trim the hedges, maybe even plant some new flowers. But you want to make sure when buyers pull up to your house, right? They're in the street, in the driveway. You want to make sure they take that first glance and they see something that's been maintained and well taken care of, because here's what the buyer's thinking. If it looks great on the outside, chances are it's going to look good on the inside as well. So you want to make sure that you freshen up landscaping, and that's one really simple and quick thing you can do as you prepare to list your house. Hey, before we do anything else, do me a favor and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you. Number two, change out those old light fixtures and even plumbing fixtures. So sure, you might need to hire some help here depending on how handy you are. But let's say, for example, you've got some gold-plated light fixtures that are completely out of date. It's a pretty easy fix. It's something that you can do easy. Run up to one of the big box stores or Amazon, wherever you buy a material like that, but change those light fixtures out and make it something, modernize the space, right? Replace it with something that is in today for that area so that it catches buyers' eyes. Also, think about plumbing fixtures, right? So sinks, bathtubs, things like that. And no, I'm not saying go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on high-end plumbing fixtures, but once again, if you've got some of those really old plumbing fixtures that might have some gold-plated whatever on them that you've seen in older homes, get rid of that and put in something that's a little more up-to-date. So I've heard some negative feedback about popcorn ceilings. Have you ever seen those before? You walk into some homes and instead of having a smooth ceiling, you've got popcorn up there. It's popcorn ceilings. So while I know that changing that out or getting rid of that popcorn ceiling and putting in a smooth ceiling, that's a pretty big project and it can be pretty messy. It could be a big undertaking, but if you're going to sell your home, maybe it's been on the market for a little while, and if you've got negative feedback about popcorn ceilings, you might want to take the time and the money to get rid of those, because it can make a huge difference in the space. Here's a pretty quick and easy one. Depersonalize and declutter your house. Declutter, go through and remove a lot of stuff that you've got out on shelves and on bookcases and things like that. Clear a lot of that out. So get all the clutter away. Go ahead and pack it up. And hey, guess what? You're doing yourself a favor. You're doing some early packing. Go ahead and pack it up, put it in boxes and store it away. And you want to depersonalize too, because when buyers walk through a house, they don't want to see a ton of pictures of you and your family up on the walls. They want to make sure that they can envision themselves moving into this house and making it their home. So make sure you pull down those pictures of you. Hey, we all love our families. I've got pictures up right now in my house too of the kids. But if we were selling our house, we'd pull those down, and that way people coming through, they can take a look at everything around and say, hey, look, I could see myself living here. If you're preparing to sell your home, think about painting. Painting is something that's pretty easy to do. Sure, depending on how many walls and what the square footage is in your home, it could be a bigger project, but it's something that a lot of us can do. Painting goes a long way, y'all. I mean, it goes a long way. It really refreshes the walls, cleans things up. And let's say, for example, maybe you have a dark red or a dark brown or something, an accent wall somewhere, or maybe the entire room is a certain color that may not appeal to the masses. Maybe it was one of your favorite colors. Well, think about putting something a little more neutral on the walls, because that helps buyers when they come through. Because if you put something a little more neutral on the wall, then it helps them to envision the space, and they can look around and they can get a feel for, maybe, hey, what if I change the color here or there? But if you put colors in that aren't very popular, then it kind of gives the buyers a little negative vibe about the whole space. And sure, a buyer could come in and they could paint the home, right? But if it is a huge home, I've seen some of these around here lately in the northern Atlanta area, it might be $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 to come in and paint an entire house. So I'm not saying you need to paint your entire house, but pick some spots that could really use some sprucing up or repainting of new colors, and really consider doing that, because paint makes a huge difference. Selling your house is a big deal. I completely understand. Our homes are oftentimes the largest asset that we all own. So there's a huge financial impact at stake when you sell a house, and then when you buy a house as well. So when you're getting ready to sell, follow these tips that I just outlined for you, and it will help to increase the profitability on your home and then get the house sold quickly, which are all two huge wins for you when trying to sell your house. Hey, before you hop off my channel, do me a favor, take a look at this video that I published where I list out some home buying tips. So if you're watching this video, you're probably preparing to get a house, to list a house on the market for sale, and you might be buying a house. Take a look at that video next for some tips on how to buy a house and make sure that you purchase that home that fits all the criteria that you need for you and your specific situation. Thanks so much for stopping in and taking a look at this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one.